Born to Michael and Karen Flood, Deion Fludd grew up similar to some kids in New York City housing, a home littered with five other siblings and two parents doing their best to raise him. Growing up in one of the most dangerous projects in the city, Red Hook, Brooklyn, Deion lived a typical teenage lifestyle of hanging out, playing sports, and getting involved in some things he shouldn't have. Sure, fights in school may have got him in trouble with the law, but how could fear beating at a Brooklyn subway station lead to Deion being chased down by cops who say Deion was hit by a train when he jumped into the tunnel? I'm underground hip-hop artist, co-founder of Dying Breed music company Big Deal Bills, and I'm here to expose the NYPD and MTA cover-up of my baby brother, Deion Fludd. Follow me. Now let's start with the night the incident happened. Sunday, May 5th, 2013, between the hours of 9:30 and 10:30 p.m. Deion was heading back home from Ocean Hill Projects, Brooklyn, after hanging out with his girlfriend at the time, Haisha Sanchez. They arrived at the Rockaway Ave C-Train station where Deion asked Haisha to go through the turnstile with him so they could spend a little bit more time together. She agreed. Was it a good choice for a young, urban man on probation to involve himself in any crime, even as small as a fare beat? No. Still, that doesn't grant any officer the right to bash my brother's skull in, allegedly. The couple didn't know that there were 4 anxious rookie cops hiding in the trash room waiting to catch people stealing a ride. We'll get to their anxiety later. The 4 officers approached the young couple, and here's where I insert their concoction of what happened. Reports from DNAinfo, one of only 2 media outlets that covered the story, say that once the police officers asked for the couple's ID, Deion fled, running onto the C-train tracks where a subway train clipped him, fracturing his skull and 2 parts of his spine. The police then told EMT workers that Deion's injuries were caused by a subway train striking him while he was on the tracks. DNAinfo's article also says that Haisha remained with an officer after Deion fled, and that the officer stopped at least 1 train from entering the station during the chase. Big emphasis on the during part. Al Jazeera America.com, the other outlet that covered the story, wrote a more detailed article, giving names of officers and all, citing reports from the NYPD's Internal Affairs Bureau and New York City Transit Authority as some sources. Of the night of the incident, Aaron Miguel Cantu wrote about 4 desperate rookie officers who were allegedly hunting for dirt bags, poured out of the trash room, and ordered the teenagers to stop. Aaron goes on to write about how Haisha said when the cop took their IDs, the couple tried explaining that Haisha wasn't getting on a train with Deion, but the officer's attitude was apathetic towards them. They handcuff Haisha, attempt to handcuff Deion. D takes off running with 3 of the 4 cops in tow. Both DNA and Al Jazeera articles say that one of the officers chasing Deion almost fell trying to grab him before jumping into the tracks. Al Jazeera, however, doesn't make mention of the incoming train being stopped by one of the officers, but does report that an A-train operator told MTA and IAB officials that his train hit Deion after he started to cross the tracks from left to right. Let me remind y'all that Deion was running up the Manhattan side of the tunnel. Oh, and before I forget, there were 2 more cops added to the Al Jazeera report that responded on the other side of the tunnel. Pay attention. See, now if you're thinking like me, you're thinking the cops' account of what happened is Swiss cheese. Too many holes to stick my fingers through. You're right too. Miraculously, Deion managed to survive 2 months after the incident, fully cognizant, able to whisper his account to certain family members who were there, including the last time him and I spoke. Deion's side of things fills in the holes, but why did the IAB only investigate the case for 3 days and never question Deion or his family about the incident? I believe it was to protect the officers involved and the already tarnished image of the NYPD at the height of the stop and frisk wars. The MTA was thrown in there for obvious reasons, being that he ran in the tunnel and all. But why back up the actions of bad policing? I'm going to break this all down for y'all as logically as I can by starting with Deion's story first. But that's not until part 2. Till then, subscribe and pass this story around because we're searching for justice for Deion. What I'm doing here is about the integrity of my family before any civil case happens. Till part 2. Peace.